The first thing I remember is the game that I love. A man on a diamond with a golden glove. Daddy with me in the cheap seats above saying...
Welcome to the Two Cutoff Men, the podcast dedicated specifically to the Cincinnati Adult Baseball League. I'm Jason Earhart, along Colt 45's first baseman Ray Sterling as we recap the week that was, the week ahead, and all things CABL.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
And thanks again for tuning in to the Two Cutoff Men. For more information about our league, you can visit our Facebook page by searching Cincinnati Adult Baseball League, and you can check out the league website at www.CincyABL.com. You can find stats, standings, rosters, schedules, game recaps, among other things on there. Once again, that's Cincy with a Y, ABL.com. With that, I'd like to welcome in our co-host, also the show's executive producer and longtime Colt 45 veteran, Ray Sterling. And Ray, welcome to podcast number 12 today.
Thanks a lot. I'm glad that we got 12 now. Looking forward to this one. We got a nice little guest in the hot corner this week, and be able to cover up some of the hot games this past week. It was heated up, and it looks like we're going to be heated again for this next weekend, so it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I'm pumped up for this episode. Our guest, CABL royalty, so you're going to have to stick around, find out who that is in about 15 minutes, but a big-time guest for you this week. And, Ray, as you mentioned, it's hot outside, thank goodness, finally getting some games in, at least we did on Sunday. Plenty of good action to go around, and tell you what, why don't we start out at Springboro. Doubleheader between the Knights and Dragons, and I picked this as my game of the week because they were playing two, but worked out pretty well for those Dragons, didn't it?
Yeah, the Dragons take two away from the Knights there, 15-0 in the first one and 12-3 in the second one. So they came out with the sticks hot and ready to go for the game of the week.
Yeah, the Dragons entered play with just one win on the season. They leave Springboro with 3, so a good day for the Dragons. They come out of there with a sweep by winning both of those ball games. Up in Loveland, it was the Dayton Braves continuing their hot play. They beat the Tigers by a final score of 14-2. Swain with 4 hits in that ball game, and boy, these Braves are starting to play well, aren't they, Ray?
Yeah, they're coming on hot, and we got them this week coming up, so it's going to be a tough game out there. Like we had talked last year, I think they did the same thing last year, off and on, and they're coming out strong, and that's a big win, 14-2. That's putting up some numbers there.
Playing real well here lately. Out at Franklin, it was the Mudcats beating the Expos 7-5. How about Bennett going the entire game there, throwing 9 innings in the heat, striking out 10 Expos for the win. Joey Roberts with a pair of hits. And interesting write-up on this, the Expos, or I should say the Mudcats, started the game with 10 players, had 2 guys leave. They have a couple MVABL guys playing the 18 and over league in Dayton, and they had to leave. So Jeremy Allen and company finishes the game with 8 guys and holds off the Expos by a final score of 7-5.
That's a good job, being able to finish it up with 8, and that means I had to make some adjustments in the field and good pitching then to be able to hold them off. So,
you know what I'm envisioning? I'm envisioning Jeremy Allen playing second base / right field to make up for that one spot.
He can cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Jeremy how he finished up there. I could see Jeremy out there playing second / right, fill the gaps there. So good job by the Mudcats getting that win.
Yeah, that's a good game. Being able to finish it off and finish strong, and the Expos have been pretty tough, so that's a good win for the Mudcats. We had out Brian Wilson. We had the Reds 10, Orioles 1. Orioles have been strong off and on all year. We've talked about that. And the Reds come out. They've been up and down now here over the last few games, and that's a big win for the Reds coming out, taking the Orioles down 10-1.
Well, how about Dave Burns? 14 Ks. Heads up, or shout out to David Burns for getting the 14 Ks. That puts him on the short list for Player of the Week. Anytime you can strike out 14 batters, that's a big deal.
Especially Orioles showing that they've had some hot bats lately. To be able to put 14 Ks up on them, that's pretty good. So, Burns is definitely going to be up there on that list with the leaders there for Player of the Week. Out at McNick High School, we had the Meridians and the Tigers going, and the Meridians take down the Tigers 8-2. Miller pitched another gem out there, and he's tough every time he comes out. Retires the side 5 times. That's pretty good. I like that, and he's strong.
Yeah, Brett Miller, the consummate rubber arm, he's always out there able to throw a ton of innings, and Certainly no exception on Sunday. And Dorian West, we'll give a shout-out to him. How about a home run there for the Tigers? I think his second home run of the season. Now, I'm going to have to take exception to what Thomas Hammond wrote up there. He put the pride of Princeton, which, again, was quoting me from earlier in the year. But I have a guy from Princeton who played with Dorian, who also hit a home run on Sunday, which I'm going to get to here in a second. So my apologies to my player, Eric Britton, with the home run on Sunday as well. So maybe they can be the co-pride of Princeton High School. How about that?
Put an S on the back end of that, and that'll be good to go.
There you go. So good job, Dorian, and good job, Meridians, for getting the win. Out at Sycamore High School, well, my Yankees team finally rebounded after our worst week in probably several years. We came out and played a beauty against the Hustle, beat them 9-0. Frank Angolia on top of his game. He goes all 9 innings for the shutouts. And as I mentioned, hard-hitting Eric Britton with a 3-run home run to help lead the Yankees. We had a 6-run third inning to kind of open that game up. It was 1-0, and that game put us out to 7-0. So Yankees with a big win there. We beat the Hustle by a final score of 9-0. We had a 5-game winless streak against the Hustle. They had won the last 4 in the series. There was a tie mixed in there in 2016. So first time in a few years we were able to come out with a win that kind of had our number. But broke that streak big time with a win on Sunday. Hooks beat Deerfield 16-2. Boy, the Hooks coming out swinging the bats. How about that? Lance Trester and Ben Ramsey each with 4 hits. Kirkendall had 3. And from what I understand, Ray, Paul Robbins, the hard-throwing lefty for Deerfield, started this game. So it wasn't just against anybody. They were able to swing the bats against one of the best.
Hooks are just hot right now. The bats are hot, and again, another day they put up double digits and take down Deerfield, who's a strong team. So 16-2 over Deerfield. We've got our work cut out for us. For everybody comes out and play the Hooks and try to take them down.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be a tough one to try to knock those guys off. Still undefeated on the season.
Yep. Over at Highlands, we had my Colt 45s playing the Suds, and this was a stinger. So we've talked about it. We've had back-and-back fights with the Suds and good games, and it turned out to be another good one. And Suds end up taking it on a walk-off in the. It had a strong day out there with the bats and going in the heat, but just not enough to be able to take them down. So they were able to beat us 9-8.
And you've had 2 close games with the Suds this year. You had an earlier game in the season. I believe you guys lost 3-1, but boy, 2 tight games with the Suds team that's playing really well right now. Currently they stand in second place in the standings with they've played a pretty tough schedule. So this Suds team definitely improved over last year. But I guess what you guys can take away from that is you played right with them twice.
Right there, but we got to be able to go ahead and play some good defense. We've been struggling with that a little bit here lately, and that hurt us. But we played strong and just right there. But we come out of the losing end of this walk-off. We've been involved in 3 or 4 of them already this year, and we've been on the winning side of a few. So, but this one goes against us. Out at Finneytown, Bulls and the Sting, and so the Bulls don't have the have any of the problems going on at Finneytown. It doesn't look like taking the Sting down 10-3 over there. Snare 3-run double, big key hit for the Bulls, and score six runs in a 6. Edwards another big strong day, 3 and 4 out there. Bulls big win. So they've turned it around. They were on the losing streak there for a while, right? And
they've I think they've won 5 in a row now. They're starting to pick it up. They got a kid named Crosby pitching 8 innings for the win. He's thrown 40-plus innings this year. He's a kid they got off the free agent list. So for all you guys listening, the managers out there, and some guys look at the free agents I send out there, some kind of ignore them, but Bulls picked up a guy who's given them a lot of innings, especially with brothers being out. So a good pickup there by Hamburg and the Bulls picking up this Crosby kid. He's given them a lot of quality innings thus far.
Yeah, it's a good job. They bring a guy off the waiver wire, if you will, and get one that can bring you 8 innings pitched. Got to keep looking out on that waiver wire.
And we got to give props to our good friend Adrian Schall. He hits a bomb in that game and a triple, 3 RBIs, a triple and a homer, the 2 hardest parts of the cycle. So Schall gets those done. But Sting lose that game by a final score of 10-3. Final game of the day on Sunday involved the Dodgers and Brewers out at Foundation. The Dodgers jumped out to a 10-0 lead. Brewers able to show some life and come back, but they fall by a final score of 13-8. And it's a Brewers game, so you know what that means, Ray.
Got a J-ism.
Dearest Mabel, today should have been glorious. The sun shone brightly and the birds sang sweetly. Nobody heard the mortars until they were upon us. Many brave souls were lost today. Say hello to your mother.
Yeah, keeping the mother in there now. That's a way.
I do like the Mabel reference. You don't see that name very often.
That was a good one, because that would be like a reference of Deep Kentucky, you know,
Yeah,
getting the names out of the Deep Kentucky. So that was a good one. I like that.
So if Dodgers continue their winning ways, they get the Brewers by a final score of 13-8. That wrapped up a good Sunday, which we got 11 games in, including the DH involving the Dragons and the Knights. Not so lucky, Ray, on Wednesday, the rain, and what was it, Hurricane something or another? I think it was Barry or
yeah, I think it was Hurricane. Yeah, Hurricane Barry.
It just figures Hurricane Barry decides to have its remnants visit us on a Wednesday. Terrific.
Yeah, no kidding. That was a strong one too. That by the time it hit us, of course, you know, not a hurricane by the time it hits us, but the rains, it dumped it down quick and knocked out a lot. And we had our game, which we'll cover here in a little bit, out at Foundation, and even Foundation was actually in a little bit of a trouble spot there. So
Ray, I think it was 6 of the 10 sites were rained out. We did get a doubleheader in at Riverfront, but boy, as you mentioned, it was tough to get the games in. I'll touch on the doubleheader. Deerfield played 2 out at Riverfront. They beat the Hustle 8-7. This game was a walk-off. It was shortened by time. Deerfield able to get the W there. They hit a 7-2 lead. Hustle rallied back to tie it, but Deerfield able to walk them off by a final score of 8-7. Deerfield stayed on Riverfront for a second game where they welcomed in Thomas Hammond and the Tigers, and boy, they took care of business. Jumped out to a big lead early and won that game by a final score of 11-1. They get 10 runs in the first 2 innings. So Deerfield starting to play a little better ball now as they pull off the sweep there, Ray.
Yeah, and after the first game, they just kept it rolling and, get the bats kept going and put up some numbers to be able to make it easy and settle in to get a big win, 11-1. So nice game out there. We had the Sting and the Dragons were able to play at Finneytown. I'm actually kind of surprised that they were actually able to play at Finneytown. Usually, if it rains pretty hard, that field doesn't hold water very well, but it did pretty well. And Sting took down the Dragons 16-6, so the Dragons get the wrath of Finneytown as well as Barry. So not looking too good out there.
Yeah, a couple of notes from this game I wanted to go over. Ben Vogelsang, a longtime veteran, been in the league about 30 years. He ran the Rangers forever until this year he decided didn't want to run the team. His son, Zane, playing for the Sting, and Ben just kind of helping out coaching, but Adrian was short on arms, and tip of the hat to Ben Vogelsang, going out there throwing 5 innings to pick up a W. So great job to Ben, one of the great all-time players in this league, one of the great guys you'll ever meet. So good to see him doing well, and I wanted to give a shout-out to my good friend Miguel Curry on the Dragons. I talked to him the other day. I saw on Facebook where he thought he may have broken his ankle sliding into second. I had to come out of this game. Talked to him yesterday. Got good news from Dr. Velasquez out of Beacon. Not broken. So, Miguel, hopefully get you back out there soon. And my friend, start sliding head first, I think, because this is the second time he suffered a gruesome ankle injury sliding into a base. So I think we're going to get Miguel out there, teach him how to go head first from now on.
Yeah, I might have to do that or teach him how to slide past it and come back around it or something. But
hook slide or something.
Yeah,
something.
Good. I'm glad to hear that it wasn't anything bad and keep him out for the season. So that that's a good thing, and hopefully he gets quick recovery and gets back to playing ball. Out of Foundation,
the curse.
One. Yeah, curse.
The curse.
It got us. It got us right off the bat too. Right in the first inning, we gave up 3 unearned runs in the first inning, and but Dodgers ended up taking us 10-5. We were able to climb back a little bit. I think we ended up giving. I think we had it listed down as 7. I thought there was like 8. It was 7 or 8 unearned runs. You just can't win ball games like that, So we're going to have to come out and play a little bit better for that. Dodgers definitely took advantage of it, played well, hit well, and their pitcher, he threw real well. Finan, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah, Jeff Finan.
Yeah,
tough
lefty. Yeah, he pitched real well. He was hitting his spots, made it tough for us to really barrel anything up. He was able to go the distance. So